By now, you've more than likely heard the news that Superman is Geralt of Rivia. Is that right? Is that how you say it? I've never played Witcher. Now, as much as I would love to add my 2 cents about being the only optimist about Cavill's performance, I want to talk more about what's actually happening with video game adaptations. Netflix seems to be building some momentum by cherry-picking franchises and turning them into TV shows. Castlevania and Voltron arguably have been their sort of testing grounds. I've not seen them personally, but I hear great things, and critics online all say the same thing, that they're worth a watch and do the fans a good service. However, with The Witcher now confirmed and Cavill, bloody Superman's on board, it shows that Netflix doesn't plan on slowing this down at all, and they're happy to invest the big bucks to get these projects off the ground and looking the way that they should. It's fair to say that every video game adaptation to a movie has failed in some respects. Most are straight up awful, but you get the odd, passable one. For me, Prince of Persia was alright. I've only seen it once, but it was pretty good. Adapting these worlds into a feature runtime, in my opinion, is the critical flaw here, as you're trying to squeeze so much time, so much world building and character development, so many player interactions in such a short amount of time. Think about how most of the titles that have been given the big screen treatment are games that you've spent roughly 20 hours in at minimum. So how on earth is a movie of an hour and a half meant to squeeze the same amount of content and experience into that runtime? I've been wishing for a TV show adaptation for years now. I've always imagined that a well-written Hitman show would be fucking hype. If you structured the season as a heist narrative with really tightly written cat and mouse factions fighting off against each other, that would, to me, just IO, meet Netflix, go chill and let's just see what happens. Thematically though, it just makes more sense for these titles to run as shows rather than a film, allowing breathing room and allowing longer plots to develop and cook nicely over a nice typical 13 episode season. I hope, and I really, really hope, that this is the beginning of games to screen adaptations being done right. Netflix has the money, clearly the confidence of getting Cavill online with The Witcher, that they're bringing everything that they can to these projects. Regardless of what you think of Cavill's acting chops, he's Superman. He's a global face on one of the biggest franchises. Depending on its quality or not, he's bloody Superman. That cost a lot of money. Further reports are coming in that Blizzard are now in talks with the streaming service to adapt a Diablo show. If they get this right, hell, we can see so many other titles get the same treatment. I mentioned Hitman before, but I also think the Thief franchise would make a great TV show. The rebooted story wasn't too great, but if you take some of those supernatural elements with the tightly written character drama and shot in this really slick and tight 10 to 13 episode thriller, I'd bloody watch that. Or perhaps the newly released Phantom Doctrine, like a Cold War espionage spy thriller. That would be so good. Again, it might just be me being the only optimist online when it comes to this sort of thing, but if we get franchises like Thief, where their game titles there's no investment anymore, people don't play those games, so the studios can't get them off the ground, maybe adapting them into a quality TV show is enough to bring back an audience and then get a game developed again on the back of the TV show. It might be a second life sort of thing. But again, all of this is just opinion and blind optimism on the internet. It's a very much what if. As I said before, it's we just sort of have to wait and see scenario. But thank you very much for making it to the end of the video and feeding my ego for the day. It'd be a bit weird for me to end this type of video and not invite whoever is watching to tell me what you would love to see adapted into a series, or maybe to tell me that you think I'm completely wrong and that by removing the player entirely and taking away the gameplay breaks these stories entirely. Who knows? Either way, thank you for watching. There are other videos on this channel should you care to stick around, but do not feel like you have to. Peace!